Shalom, shalom, and I know welcome to those who are here with me in the Zoom room, and also I see some of you are watching on YouTube, and we have a number who are watching us on streaming today too. So welcome, and it's another Tuesday, and I was preparing a few minutes ago to a little reading that I'm going to be sending out to those of you who registered for our class next week called Secrets of the Siddur. And there's, for those people who registered, if you haven't registered, send in a registration. For those who registered, there'll be a series of mailings before the classes with some reading materials that we'll use to discuss and to give us a fuller understanding about Jewish prayer and the prayer book and what's involved in the prayer book. It's a huge subject, actually, one that we could thoroughly cover in a whole semester or even a year because it covers just a tremendous amount of territory. But in preparing for that class, I read a beautiful reading, a paper actually by a colleague of mine, Rabbi Karen Reese Medwed, who talked about prayer and what was prayer supposed to give to us, what is prayer supposed to do for us. And she mentions a number of challenges to prayer, both in the understanding of prayer and what it means to pray in Hebrew, and most of us don't speak Hebrew. And these are all things we're going to talk about in the class. But one of the things she mentions is the idea that in having a set of fixed prayers and a fixed prayer book, sometimes we're asked to say things that we don't believe and maybe don't even agree with. It's very possible, since the prayers are fixed and the same for everybody. It would seem that very often we have prayers that just don't resonate with individuals, just don't resonate with what they believe. And that is, in fact, a challenge, because now, more than ever, we're used to living in a world where we can pick and choose and decide what's relevant to us, what's meaningful to us. Is if I don't like the show that's on television now, I have 100 other channels. Maybe I'll find something there to be able to watch. We no longer live in a one-size-fits-all world. As a matter of fact, in these days more than ever, we realize that one of the challenges is that when we read the news, or we listen to the news, or we watch the news, that there are extreme different realities depending on what channel and what broadcast you are watching. That the world is radically different if you're watching a different news channel. That wasn't always the case. It used to be that you could pretty much depend on what you found on the news on one channel would be the news on another channel, that it would be pretty much the same. That's just not the case anymore. We certainly realize that. And part of the division that we feel in our country is the fact that we do have this personal choice that has created different realities for so many different people. A real challenge. Nevertheless, in our traditional Jewish prayer, we have one point of view, one channel, one book that we use that we know up front won't fit everybody. And yet, we know that when we come together, there is some kind of magic that happens when we are in a room together with others. We are social beings. We are human beings that crave to be around other human beings. And when we come together, there is a special power, a special satisfaction, a special enjoyment that we get, pleasure that we get from being together as a community, being together with one another. So yes, we may not have our prayers tailored directly to exactly what we believe, but by coming together and maybe trying to understand things in a different way, or recognizing that the value of our togetherness is greater than the value of us, of just the words we may say in any particular prayer. The value of our sharing together, of our being together, of us having a kiddish lunch together is greater than whether or not the prayer fit exactly with our theological framework of the world that we live in. And I know some might disagree with me. Some might say, oh no, Rabbi, I only want to say words that absolutely have meaning to me, that are words that I can certainly identify with. But that's not the only concern we have when it comes to Jewish prayer. We're also concerned with being together. The last point I'll make, and we'll talk about this in the class, is that Jewish prayer is really about reflecting back on us. It's really about thinking about who we are, and about what we are doing, and about the life we are living, the life we've lived, and the life we will yet live. That's really the essence of what our prayer is about. That's something very different than what I think many people experience or are aware of. We're going to continue now with the mourner's kaddish prayer. For those of you who want to say kaddish with me, we'll begin now. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabam, Bialma divra kirute v'yamlich mechute, B'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala u'v'yizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabam v'varach le'olam le'omei amaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitbawar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yidadar v'yidaleh v'yidalal shemei d'kudisha barichu, Li'ela min kol berchata v'shirata, Tushbechata v'nechamata damiran bi'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlomo rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imramav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the one who brings peace above bring peace to us, bring peace to Israel, bring peace to the entire world, and let us say, Amen. Thank you all for being with me. Have a wonderful week ahead.